morning makeup, I think, maybe this is unsolicited, I don't know. But here you go. This is before. I woke up pretty early. I'm on painkillers, no more drinking, but I don't feel too tired, so let's see what we're working with. At the moment I am using a very light MAC liquid because I had it left over and it's enough coverage for video conferencing, but because I just need to use it up. And then I've got a thicker Clinique one which I'm using just to cover up more kind of patchy stuff. This is running out, so I've kind of got it on the side. For a while I was using, down here, I was using makeup sponges, but I don't know, a bit streaky, so I started using this, and I know this looks like it would be streaky, but actually it's pretty good. So this one just goes on really kind of splat it on there, like not shy. It's not ladylike. And then rub the bastard on. And this MAC one's a bit weird because the more you sort of, I'm gonna turn this down. The more you sort of rub it in, it kind of goes a bit thicker. So you gotta kind of work it in a bit. This is the bit that's like so boring. And I wasn't gonna bother today so much, but I've got a meeting at 10:40 and it's like a proper meeting, so I've got to look at least a little bit professional for it. Even though the professional pretense is slipping it online, but never mind. The least I can do is look like I'm taking it seriously. So that's like a thin layer of MAC, which kind of gives like loose coverage, and then this one's running out. I'm so annoyed. I just put a couple of dots of this, and I always put foundation on my eyelids as well, because it's like a good base for eyeshadow. Just kind of everything just clings a bit better. And I'll just cover up the stash as well, and a bit on the forehead for a highlight and a bit for this. I haven't decided what colours I'm going to go with today yet. I've been going with quite a lot of pink recently, so I might just do that because it's easy. For me it feels natural, but I think for other people it'll probably look quite heavy. This is probably not the most hygienic thing, but I need to wash this brush anyway, so I'll just go for it and eye infections be damned. I also tend to just go over my lips a little bit as well, because then lipstick and all that kind of just clings a bit better. And the forehead is done, over the eyebrows, because again my eyebrow makeup will cling better and it just gives them a nice little brush. Okay, so now I look like I'm on my deathbed, but this is the base. And I always kind of go down here a bit and into my ears just to get the dreaded line. Here we go. Totally blank tech face. Doesn't match my recently tan chest, but I'm not gonna bother too much with that anyway. So I have got, this was from ASOS and it was so cheap. I think it was like 12 bucks or something. And it's got some really nice like neutral shades. So I've been using this a lot recently because I feel like if I use my expensive ones for being on video chat, then it's like a waste of money kind of. So for the base, I'm using this pink one. I use it a lot. It's got like a kind of medium brush. I'm just gonna slap that onto my eyes. And work it into the corners as well, so you get that little highlight. And I tend to just kind of work it almost all the way up to my eyebrow just to give me enough of a kind of shimmery base to blend like the rest of the shadow into, basically. Because if you put your dark eyeshadow straight onto your bare skin or onto your kind of foundation skin, it will just drag and give you like those horrible creases. But if you just put like a base shadow on, it just gives that darker eyeshadow something to adhere to. Then I've got, this is a really nice brush. This one's from Urban Decay. I don't normally just get kind of cheap Amazon brushes. Like that foundation one is totally plastic, like it's cheap, but I think it's good to kind of invest in something a bit better for the eyeshadow. So I've been going with this darker one this week, and I'm literally going to work it like into the crease. I'm going to start thin here and then work out kind of thicker, and then you don't be shy with it, just kind of go for it. So I'm not painting the actual lid, I'm just working the crease out, and then I put a little bit of a line underneath as well, just to balance it out and create that sort of, I guess, almost like a cat eye. So that's just the kind of basic color applied, and I'll do it on the other side as well. My left eye never behaves like my right eye does. It's always a little bit of a rebel. I can never get the same shape that I like with my right eye. Sorry, just a little bit of a burp. So right now it looks insane, but this is where the kind of blending comes in. So I've got this nice kind of dark-ish shimmery one, and I get the thicker brush and kind of apply it over, and at the same time it kind of works the edges of that crazy makeup and blends it into the lighter shade underneath. It takes a couple of brushfuls just to kind of go over the whole thing. And I know this still looks really heavy, but I'll show you how I correct that in a minute. So that's one side. You see how it's just kind of blended out. Just blend this one in as well. Just fucking like left eye just never behaves. Sometimes it just goes a bit overboard, so I could just clean off the brush and then just use it literally as like a blank blender. So there you can see like now how it's sort of I have been using a bit this coral one. So yesterday I just had the kind of purpley colour, but the coral one's quite nice just to give it a bit of a pinky tone. Literally just for colour, like for no other reason. Just kind of warms it up a little bit. I don't need a lot, but personally I prefer that nice, it almost looks brown I guess, but that kind of pinky colour to this one just makes it just look a bit like it's got a bit more personality, I guess. Do this side. Right, so you're probably thinking this is so heavy and this is too much for work, this is too much for day to day, and you would be right, it is. So I have got this magic little penis shaped sponge, kind of penis, like if you had a pointy penis like that I would be worried. And really all I use this as is like an eraser to kind of take off and kind of smudge in the top part. So I literally use it to remove the kind of excess shadow and kind of blend it out. And I used to use my fingers as well, I mean, because come on. And then you will see that's why I haven't been too worried about like over applying, because look at the difference. Like, it just really helps to kind of tone everything down, so you don't need to worry so much about putting too much on, because you can just kind of erase your mistakes afterwards. And also that's why it's important to have the foundation underneath, because it helps, like the foundation kind of helps to move it off, if you like, because fuck's sake, if you were just doing it to skin it would be harder to remove, but the foundation kind of acts as a bit of a lubricant to help you take that off. So that's about right. So we're looking a little bit less crazy. And then because I like to highlight underneath my brow a bit to make it, I don't know, just to kind of highlight. So I really need to wash all my brushes because they're all kind of, tend to use the same tones on the same brushes, but actually I don't know what I'm gonna use this Kiss Goodbye to that one for today. It's good enough. This is the best. It's a Charlotte Tilbury one. It's got a blush and highlighter. It was not cheap. It was about 50 quid or something. It was a lot of money, but I bought it before Christmas. I still have not hit the pan on either side, and I have literally used this like pretty much every single day since I got it. It's so good. So this highlighter I'm just going to apply below my brows. Again, half of the reason is just to kind of tone down the shadow underneath and blend it in, but also when I actually do my brows it will just kind of make them pop a little bit more. So there, you've got, it kind of blends in. So that's the shadow, and the shadow always looks like a crazy person until you put on the liner and the eyeshadow. So this is the Benefit one, and it's really good, but it is not as waterproof as I would like it to be, and it's also running out really quickly. This Stila one is waterproof, and it's a lot better, and I've got a meeting today which could potentially be quite upsetting, so I'm going to see if I can get more life out of this waterproof one to start. And there's no huge secret to doing this, just practice. Both elbows on the table, stretch the skin out, and literally what I'm going to do is use the tip to kind of stamp the eyeliner on and drag it across this way, right? So I'm going to do it in this mirror so I can see. So that's kind of giving me my tail flick, and then I will just kind of extend it down into my lid. So that's kind of giving me the first part of that, and then going the opposite direction from the corner to meet it. Now you can see like it's kind of gone a bit wobbly, which is fine because you can just correct it. And then I'll go all the way across to meet it on the other side. Even then, it's still a bit wobbly, so I'm still just gonna... There. That's one side. It's never perfect, never comes out perfect, but it's not bad. And then I'll do the other side, so... Stamp and pull it across. got an eyelash stuck. And then from this corner, start off really thin and then pull it across to meet it. Well, this one's gone quite well because you can see where I've kind of outlined it, and then I'm just going to fill that in. Sometimes it goes bottom to top, sometimes it goes top to bottom. It just depends how much coffee I've had, if I'm in a hurry, if I'm excited or not. I'm usually not that excited in the mornings. Right, so you can see this one has gone thin, and this one has gone thick. That's just how it goes sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a nicer tail on this one. I'm actually pretty happy with this side. That's more my kind of, so this one I'm going to thicken up so that it matches. Pretty much there. I don't want to fuck with that too much because I'm kind of happy with how that's gone. Because this is running out a little bit, I'm just going to let it dry, and then I'll probably use this one just to darken it up slightly, but I'm just going to let it dry first. Not going to put on fake eyelashes today, I think, because they kind of get annoying, so I do it sometimes and sometimes not. Mascara, I do not need to lecture anybody about, because if you have got to your mid-30s and you do not know what you're doing with mascara, then frankly, why are you bothering with your life? People who don't do their lower lashes should be arrested and sent to prison. So I'm not really doing anything special today. This is basically like what I would call, if I was going to work, like physically going to the office every day, this would be like a good makeup day, because this takes a bit more time than just kind of chucking on some mascara and some basic shadow. But this would be like my kind of good standard daily makeup. So not something for going out, not something for like drinking or a big day or whatever, but just to kind of want to look nice kind of day. A bit more time to play with it. So I suffer from blonde eyebrow syndrome, and I use Benefit Browsings and a brush that I can never ever find any day of the week because it likes to hide from me. So I've got this square end brush. This palette has got so many different options, and actually the white one looks a bit gross because I actually use it to adhere glitter. So I mean, any of these will do. They're all basically the same. And then this one for going out, sometimes if I want more of a Madonna look, but this one for a daily day. So the square brush I use for the powder, and I literally just, I kind of go top down. So depending on how shocked I want to look that day, I will kind of, sometimes I go over the brow a little bit more and kind of line it for a bit more of a thicker brow. Generally I tend to do quite thick at the ends and then work my way out, and usually it only takes one brush full of powder just to powder out. On the other side, of course. And I like the square brush because it's a good thickness for the inside, and then I can use it on its side to get the ends. And that's the powder. And then, that's so gross, I really need to wash this, but I've got a thinner one just to do the Burnie wax this one. And literally all that does is kind of seal it in, and it lets me sort of correct and define a little bit more. So if I've got a bit of a wiggly, this one's not behaving today, but got a little bit of a wiggly look, I can just kind of use the wax to neaten her up a little bit. A couple of misbehaviors today. Probably slept on that side of my face. That's the brows, and then just really quickly I'm going to darken this up slightly. God, I can hear my work emails coming in. Why are you emailing me? Nothing's happening. So I'd say that's kind of the eyes done. Face is pretty much dry. So controversial opinions on blusher, and I'm not sure which way I sit with this, but for appearing on FaceTime, etc., I like to be a little bit heavier, so I don't know. I still don't know if I agree with my own blusher technique. I think it's one thing that I need a bit more direction on. And then I tend to do a bit on the forehead as well, because I am so pale. When I appear on the screen, I just look like a ghost. This brush is lovely, by the way. I can't remember where I got it from. Oh, it's an e.l.f. one. But it's got this like straight edge here, so I can get more of a line. Highlight brush. That's gonna blend it in a little bit. This is the same Charlotte Tilbury one I was showing you before. And then I tend to do a little bit on the forehead just to brighten up, a little bit on the chin, a little bit on the moustache. And then because I'm paranoid about my nose, I like to get a little bit on a thinner brush and I do like a line. Blend it in, and I don't know, I feel like it just kind of defines it a little bit more. Dropped it. And then what I did the other day, this is a new thing, this is what drag queens do, right? Just kind of get some of the darker blush and line either side of that and blend it down the side of your nose. I'm using like a real stubby hard edge brush, so I'm not going into the highlight line, and then I just kind of blend it all in a bit. Maybe it helps to get the nose into a bit more of a pointy situation, I don't know. Worth a shot. We are in an apocalypse after all. And then I'm gonna use, this was a naughty purchase, it's £25, but it is absolutely stunning. It's a Charlotte Tilbury one, it's called Pillow Talk. It kind of looks like a gloss, but it applies like a lipstick. There, and that's basically it. It's the morning makeup.